welcome to another episode of Pastor G's Cliff Notes. Listen, we had a wonderful time on Sunday. We continued the conversation about Flagrant Fatherhood, and I just wanted to share a couple of things as relates to being a flagrant father. And I want to kind of correlate that with what's going on across not just this nation, but across the world in terms of the protests and for black equality and those things. We're in a time where I really don't want us to miss this moment as it relates to what's really going on. And it's bigger than just how we see it on the surface. It's bigger than just a protest, but what we're witnessing is the emergence of a prophetic era in the earth. And or more, to make it more clear, we're witnessing the birthing of a voice or a prophetic voice. Acts chapter 2 declares, and we just talked about this on last Sunday, the miracle of Pentecost was not so much the fact that they spoke in tongues, but the miracle of Pentecost was they spoke and everybody was able to understand the gospel of Jesus Christ in their own language. That's the miracle. And when that took place and it spilled out into the streets, there were those that raised up and said, "These men are drunk." And Peter, immediately perceiving what was being said or how what was actually taking place was misinterpreted, Peter said, "These are not drunk as you suppose, but this is that which was prophesied by the prophet Joel." And he said that in the last days, I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Listen, on the Jewish calendar, the year 2020 talks about, or it speaks of, the year to declare, or the year to open our mouth. And we have been talking about this since the beginning of the year. The Lord said that if we would, Psalms 81, I believe it is, that if you open up your mouth, I'll fill it. And so what we're witnessing spiritually in the atmosphere or in the earth realm, what we're witnessing is the manifestation of the prophetic moment that Peter talked about on the day of Pentecost. We're witnessing the emergence of sons and daughters, and they are in a prophetic posture. But we as the church have to it is incumbent upon us as leaders in the church to make sure that they have the message that needs to be prophesied, or we give them the verbiage by which they prophesy. You can look across the world and see that this is a move of God across the world. Young people by the droves are taking the streets of every major city, and they have decided that enough is enough. We're not going to settle and deal with racial inequality anymore. Black Lives Matter. And so they've taken to the street and they have garnered their message, and their message is making strides. It is transforming the way this country is being run, even as late of today. And so the thing we have to understand, prophetically, they're in their posture. They are in a place of declaration. And the thing that has stymied this generation in times past is the fact that there was social media. Social media became their voice. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those things became their voice. But now, in an instant, in this moment, they have become prophetic, and no longer is Twitter or Instagram or Facebook their voice, but they're making their voices heard audibly, and they have taken on the posture of the prophetic. We have to do a better job of equipping them with the right message. And so listen, it is incumbent upon fathers. I want to speak to every father that's out there. It's incumbent upon fathers to raise your children right. The Bible is clear. Train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they get old, they will not depart from that way. So you have to be masterful about making sure that you are your child's first teacher, that they're not learning how to talk and how to approach those who are in authority, or how to engage. They're not learning that from the streets or from barbershops or from locker rooms and other areas where they get this misinformation. But their first teacher are flagrant fathers. And you have to understand, it is critical in terms of you need to be in your child's life so that they can know and take their cues from you, to the point that they see how you provide for your family. They understand and see the sacrifices that you make. They understand and see your ability to forecast things before they come. Your child needs to learn all of these things so that they can show up in the earth as those who have been raised correct. And listen, it takes a flagrant father, not a flagrant father that is adversely flagrant, but one that is advantageously flagrant. One who on purpose and with great pride and with great tenacity takes care of the well-being of their children. That's flagrant. And that's what we're trying to produce in the earth now. Listen, nothing's going to change in terms of how things have turned. As a matter of fact, I believe we are experiencing the birthing of a new norm as it relates to young people's ability for their voices to be heard. But here's the thing. We have to teach them, listen, you've got the power. You've been given the anointing, and it is your mantle. You are in the right posture as it relates to your ability to declare. Now, can you imagine if they, with that same tenacity and same fervor, declared the works of Jesus Christ in the earth? You would see transformation in this world like never before. So listen, what's at stake here is worldwide revival. We're on the cusp of a worldwide revival in this earth. And it's as if God has pulled the scab off and exposed racism for what it is. And now a voice, a prophetic voice has emerged. How are we going to lead our young people so that they could lead and prophesy for us? Listen, you got to be flagrant about it. There's no shortcuts. You got to be flagrant. Until next time we meet, fathers, stay flagrant. And I'll see you again on another episode of Pastor G's Cliff Notes. God bless you.